welcome everybody to Lead and Scale. It's great to see all of you. Just to check, can y'all hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up. Great to see you, Renate. Great to see you, Arma. Great to see you, Trader Rob. Great to see you, Peter, Michael, Madam Tang, Narciso, Sam, Michelle, Annie, Tyra. Great to see all of you. Okay, we're going to have an amazing 3 days. This is just the beginning, of course, and then for those of you who are here with us, kindly do switch on your camera so that I know you are here with us today, so that I can see your beautiful, beautiful faces. All right, and one thing I always share is that if we want to be an impactful and influential leader, we have to make our presence known, especially when it comes to the digital world. The first step to that leadership is by showing up and by turning on your cameras. All right. So make sure you turn on your camera so that I can see all of you that y'all are here with us today. Okay. Great to see all of you. Okay. So jumping right in, who will benefit today? Okay. If you happen to be at the transitions or crossroads in your life, you could be in between careers, you could be in between businesses, or perhaps, you're just lost. You don't know what to do next. Okay, this is for you. You will find that direction. You will find that guidance to guide you to the next level, to the next stage of your life or your career. And then for those of you who are in the career or in a job, okay, you will find yourself being able to increase your pay, because when you step up as a leader, you are increasing your value, you are increasing your power, you are increasing your leverage, and that leverage will be rewarded. Okay, and then if you happen to be finding a job, okay, by showing these leadership qualities, you will be able to crush interviews. Interviewers will look at you and be like, "Oh my God, shut up, you've got this role. All right, we want you. You will be so magnetic. You will be so magnetic, right? You will be able to attract the job, the career, the finances, the team, the business that you want in your life. Okay, and then if so happens you're a freelancer, a solopreneur, or an entrepreneur, right? Leadership skills is absolutely essential. Now you may be wondering, why do I need leadership skills if I'm a solopreneur? Right? When you're a solopreneur, when you're in business, or even as a freelancer, you have to deal with clients, you have to deal with partners. Right? And then when you're dealing with people, within any single interaction, there is a leader and there is a follower. Right? If you want to create and craft the life, the business that you want, you have to start taking lead. So even if you're a solopreneur, even if you're a freelancer, you have to start boosting up your own personal leadership skills so that you can dictate and design your business the way you want it to be, rather than being thrown into the ocean of all of the other businesses, all of the other competitors, all of the chaos, all of the economy, right? And then you just get swept away. You're out of control, right? So leadership skills is absolutely important. And of course, as an entrepreneur, if you want to scale up your business, you have to learn how to lead a team, right? You have to learn how to nurture the next generation of leaders who will grow your business, who will be able to transfer your knowledge, so on and so forth. Okay, and then of course, if you're a speaker, trainer, or marketer, this is for you as well. Okay? As a speaker, you have to learn how to command the room. You have to be able to capture people's attention. But not only do you have to capture their attention, you must be able to guide them from where they are to where they want to be, because they are seeking a leader. And they seek the leader that lies within you. All right. And then this is the same as a trainer, as a marketer as well. Leadership skills, especially when it comes to the marketing aspect, I believe that, personally, I'm a marketer as well. right? As a marketer, we have to identify where our prospects are at, where is our target audience at. What is their level of thinking, their level of sophistication. We have to understand their mindset, right? And then we have to be able to dive in and to guide them and to lead them to where they want to be, right? So it all comes down to leadership. But most importantly, it comes down to self-leadership. And this is what the next 3 days will be all about. Okay. So before we continue, all right, I like to just ask the room. Okay, how many of you are leaders right now? If you're a leader, raise your hand right now or type it in the chat. Leader. Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. And how many of you are followers? All right. Raise your hand if you're a follower. Okay. Okay. I see a couple of you. Yep. Great. Okay. So it is my belief that in order to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower. You have to be a great supporter as well. Right? We always hear this. Right? And in actual fact, if you want to be a great supporter and you feel comfortable being in that supportive role, you have to be a great leader as well. Because if you want to create that impact, right, serving your organization, serving the leader which you choose to follow, right, you have to learn to tap into your own personal leadership skills, your own personal power, right, to be able to be of service at the next level, to increase your impact, right, within your organization. Right. So it's great to see that we've got a lot of leaders and followers as well and supporters, right? But know that when it comes to transformational leadership, as I said, I believe in both. We have to be both. Okay, so going back to the slides, right? So in the next 3 days solutions and gifts that I'll be sharing with you, I'll be teaching you how is it that you can create clear and direct leadership. Because one of the challenges that we see in the market, in communities, in businesses, in teams, right, or even within personal relationships, right, there is a lack of clarity. There is a lack of clarity in direction, where people would be like, okay, I'll just go with the flow, right? Okay, you go ahead and do it. You dictate it, right? Because leadership takes initiative. It takes risk, right? But many people fear taking that risk. Many people fear taking that responsibility, right? So in the next 3 days, you will be able to learn, okay, how is it that you can be a clear and direct leader, okay, where your team will be able to trust you and follow your every single direction, rather than going off a tangent, doing their own things, and then potentially even sabotaging your operations intentionally or unintentionally along the way. Okay, and not only that, you're able to build a motivated and captivated team where they will be hanging on every single word that you say. But not only that, they will be motivated, self-motivated to take action, right? Because how many of you find it challenging when leading a team? You feel that you have to micromanage them and tell them, okay, you've got to do this, and this every single step of the way. How many of you face these kinds of challenges, right? Yeah. So we'll share with you how is it that you can have them motivated and captivated towards the goals that you have set them out to be, right? And not only that, you will keep your teams engaged and loyal to you, right? At that heartfelt level, that no matter what challenges that you face, your organization faces, they will be there for you. Especially the environment that we are going into, the economic environment we are going into, is now more important than ever for teams, for communities to stick together through thick and thin, right? So that we can rise together through all of this chaos, right? And looking at how things are unfolding in the world today, well, I can bet you, things are only going to get worse, right? Before it gets better, right? So be prepared, be prepared. And but the most important thing is that I want everybody to have this mindset of sustainable growth to scale up, because the missing equation that I find within a lot of leaders or a lot of entrepreneurs is that they look at a goal, they want to go and achieve it, and then you know what they do? They have that "I'll do whatever it takes" mentality. Now that's great, right? That mentality is great. It will get you somewhere, right? But if you do not have the next part of the equation, right, of sustainability in mind, then you could be going off tangent. You would be you will be bending the rules, bending your morals, not being ethical, right? Not treating the people that's supporting you through the process how they should be supported, right? And then it becomes unsustainable, and then you will just constantly be in that cycle of building and rebuilding, right? Going nowhere, and you keep hitting that plateau, right? So I'll share with you a step-by-step system to develop and grow your team sustainably. So out of respect for your time, right? This is a comprehensive workshop. In the next 3 days, I will be sharing everything I know, right? Given time frame, so that you can be that influential and inspirational leader, so that you will be able to transform your organization, your teams, and most importantly, you will be able to transform your own life as well. You will be able to start taking ownership, start taking leadership, right? So make sure you take notes and participate. For those of you who have attended my workshops before, you know that I'm highly interactive. I ask a lot of questions. I engage in activities. So I want that two-way energy flow. Right? Yeah. And if so happen, those of you who are joining us on this recording, engage as well, right? Because with the technology we have today, right, I believe we are transcending space and time, essentially, right? With the wonders of technology. I could be speaking with someone 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road right now, but you're sharing this very same experience with all of us today. And how beautiful and wonderful that is to be able to live in this time, right? So make sure you engage, make sure you take notes, make sure you participate throughout, okay? To retain all of the valuable insights that I will be sharing with you today. I won't hold back, okay? So make sure that you also put in your questions in the chat box, and then know that any questions and answers, it will be answered at the end of the session, okay? Pertinent to this session, right? Yeah, it'll be needing to relate to leadership and self-leadership. All right, if you go on and talk about I don't know raising finance or like accounting, then I'm sorry, I won't be able to help you in that. Okay, so but with this session, it's all about leadership. And it's all about being able to scale up your business and your own personal power. Right? So just out of curiosity, right? Share with us right now. Where are you joining us from? right? We are an international community, so I always love to see where is our community joining us from, right? Um, and then like for me, I'm here from KL, Malaysia. See Madam Tak coming from the Philippines, Renati coming from Singapore, Michael from France. And Ahmad, I see. Okay, you say opening up your notepad. Great, yeah, yeah. Riz from Penang, Malaysia. Trader Rob, Tampa International Airport. Where are you going, Trader Rob? Right, okay. Jaco from South Africa. Annie from Canada. Soleh Soon from Penang, Malaysia. Ivan E, Singapore. Okay, great. Great to have all of you with us today, right? Such a beautiful and international community we have. And then it's great to see Trader Rob saying, okay, I'm going towards my Freedom Day, right? And then for those of you who are unfamiliar with what Freedom Day is about, basically with the Groove Asia community, August 5th is known as Freedom Day, right? Where Simon, where Mike feel same, those veteran internet marketers, they were able to achieve their own personal Freedom Day, right? And then Rob is definitely on his journey towards his Freedom Day, and he will actually be joining us very soon in Asia, right? So it'll be great to see you soon, right? August 5th, I thought it was August 15th, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, okay? Yep, Tyra joining us in the parking lot somewhere in Kentucky. I love to see the commitment that you have. Tyra, it's great to see you, have you join us, right? So I mean, this goes to show, right? With an international community, we are going across all of the different time zones, right? And then we have people in different places. One in the airport, one in the parking lot, and then most of us probably home comfortable alone. But y'all did not make any excuses. Y'all showed up, right? And then for that, as I like to say, is that the first step to success, this first step to personal leadership and ownership is showing up. So with that, give yourselves a round of applause. All right, great, awesome. Now you may be wondering, oh, why am I applauding myself over here alone? Well, yeah, you're not alone, all right. And then, and yeah, in the virtual world, it's great to have this sort of engagements, and you will realize that with all of these actions that I talk about, applauding yourself and all of that, it's all about celebrating small wins. It's so easy for us to take for granted what we do in our lives on a daily basis, right? So when was the last time that you recognize your own personal strengths and wins, right? And then I see Michelle, right? Michelle, kindly do not share your screen, okay? Thank you, right? But these things happen, so yeah. Hopefully you're taking notes on your end, Michelle, right? And then I see, yes, Narciso from Alexandria, Virginia, USA. Great. And then Ahmad say, even though I've no real idea what this workshop is about just yet, I believe that the real reason I'm here will become clearer over time. Yes, indeed. And thank you, Riz. Shall I call you Riz, or you prefer Ahmad? Oh, yeah. Let me just get you to unmute.
Riz is fine. Riz is fine.
Yeah.
You might have noticed that I just shortened the name so that we wouldn't get called Ahmad so much.
Yep. Got it. Okay, great, Riz. Yeah, great to have you, and thank you for putting your trust and faith in us and the Summit VIP community, right? Because this is one thing that I like to share with all of you. When you're coming from a place of good intentions, when people know, like, and trust you, right, they will show up, right? They will show up. The right people will show up in your life, in the space that you create, And then it is your duty as a leader to honor their presence, to serve, to give, to support them from where they are to where they want to be. Right? And I honor all of you for investing and taking your time to be here with us today. Right? And then Tyra, Tyra says she's lost at the moment. Need to turn on GPS to get back to Ohio. And yeah, shaking her head right there. It's okay, Tyra. We all get lost sometimes, but at least you have the community here on your commute. Right. And then, yes, Karen, you have to be your own cheerleader first. Okay. So going back to the slides. Right. So I'd like to introduce to you, a very special man. He is a futurist. He is an architect. He's a systems engineer, and many, many, many more. Right, and he shares with us that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you have to build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. This is Buckminster Fuller. Right. So I believe that as leaders, we are creators of systems, right? Or at the very least, we are the drivers of systems, right? We introduce systems and then we get teams together to drive those systems. And whatever you are witnessing in your life right now, the results, be it in finances, be it in your health, be it in your business, right? Be it in your relationships or spiritual growth, it is all being driven by a system. Okay. Now that could be your mental system, right? It could be your standard operating procedures, right? It could be the hardware that you're using, the software that you're using, right? Whatever it is, it's all running on systems. And if you are not seeing the results that you want in your life, in your business, right, it's because you are not using the right systems. Right? And then as a leader, as an entrepreneur, it is your duty to be able to find, design, innovate, and create those systems to carve out a path of new possibilities towards the vision, towards the world that you see. Right? The beautiful world of possibilities in your own personal life, in your own business, in the lives that you can serve. You are responsible for those systems, right? And bringing those systems to life. And then I see Trader Rob sharing with us, spending hundreds of thousands US dollars in labor and training and infrastructure. I'm here to not let my history repeat itself any longer. That's right. Yeah, thanks for sharing with us, Trader Rob. Yeah, I think it's especially challenging and hard, as an entrepreneur when you're going out there with the biggest heart and intention, which I know you are, Trader Rob, right? Investing into all of these systems, investing and creating from your own intellectual property, right? Only to see it fall apart, only to see it not being appreciated by the people that you're serving it with. So thanks for sharing that, Trader Rob. Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that. Right. So my questions to everybody is: what are the biggest challenges that you face as a leader or as an aspiring leader? What are the biggest challenges that you currently face? Right? What are the results that's not quite there for you, so that I can really tailor make this session just for you? Right? Put it in the chat, and then we'll get on with it. What are the biggest challenges that you face right now as a leader or as an aspiring leader? Penalizing inactivity. Okay. Okay, I'll be jotting down all of this. And just so you know. Okay, I see we've got penalizing. Okay, Maggie. I see leading myself to start with. So self-leadership. Okay, Michael on being organized. Supporter to leader. Karen, thank you. How and where to start. Okay. To start. Okay, where I should begin and focusing and organizing. Okay. Begin, focus, organize. Peter, prioritizing. Okay, awesome. Okay. Trader Rob, productivity. Okay. Focus and avoidance. Okay, from Jacob. Madam Tak, time management. Gaining helpful knowledge. Okay. Okay, anything else you'd like to share? SOP. Awesome. Yes, we are talking about systems. This will definitely be covered, especially on day 3 on SOPs, right? Okay, any more? Any more challenges or questions? Okay, Michael, on consistency. Great, great, great. Okay, so thanks everybody for sharing. Checklist. Okay. Okay, we'll see what we can do with that. Okay, great. All right. So we'll definitely cover all of these areas, and you know when I break it down, when it comes to leadership, right, I cover it in 3 key areas. Right. Okay, and then those 3 key areas are absolutely essential for every leader, which we will be diving in. And I'll definitely be covering about how is it that you can create an environment where your team is motivated, you know, in such a way where they are doing the right things, and then they avoid doing the things that may be sabotaging your business, right? And then a very strong part of this 3 days will be about self leadership. How is it that you can start taking ownership of your own life, right? Rather than being dictated by the whims and fancies of your existing sabotaging habits, right? Sabotaging thoughts, or rather in general, you know, just being blown by the wind, like a plastic bag in the wind, right? All right. Then on being organized, yes, I'll be able to cover it today. Yeah, together with how is it that you can prioritize things as well, right? And then we'll definitely talk about how is it that you can transition from a supporter to leader role, right? And when's the right time to transition back and forth as well. And then how and where to start. Well, you're definitely in the right place. Your starting point is right here with us today. All right. And I will give you the exact fundamentals that you would need to become that inspiring leader that you want to be. Right? So where to begin, what to focus on, how is it that you keep everything organized, and then how is it that you ensure that you maintain a certain level of productivity with your team, right? When is it that you need to tighten the leash, and when is it that you need to relax in order to be able to generate the results that you want to achieve, right? And then I'm hearing a lot about focus, what to focus on, and what to avoid. How many of you find that it's important to know, right? Not only what to focus on, but what to avoid as well, right? Exactly. So we'll cover that as well. Time management, yes, we'll be able to cover it today. Helpful knowledge, or you get tons of helpful knowledge, right? Just as long as you continuously engage with me, ask questions, and then I will definitely do my best to address it during these 3 days, right? SOP, I will be sharing how is it that we can craft standard operating procedures, not only in a way where it's just documentation, right? So it's like if I were to come to you with a Starbucks manual, right, that is like within a thick binder and thousands of pages thick, and then I just drop it on your desk. I had to say, go out there, start your own Starbucks. Is that going to work? No, right? So not only is creating SOPs important, but the question is, how is it that you can make sure that those SOPs are actually implemented, right? And that goes on to our next point, in a way which is consistent as well, right? To produce consistent results. I think one of the things that my mentor Keith Cunningham used to say, and for those of you who don't know Keith Cunningham, just out of curiosity, have you all ever heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad before? Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, so and how many of you have heard of Keith Cunningham? No. Okay. So for Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad was actually based off of Keith Cunningham. Okay? So Keith Cunningham was one of the mentors in his life. And the poor dad that Robert Kiyosaki was referring to was based off of Buckminster Fuller. Okay, so the reason being is that Keith Cunningham has a rich dad. He has an accounting background. I believe he was in the media industry, right? Raised millions, lost millions, and then raised millions, and create sustainable businesses, right? One of the things he shares is that if you want a long-term sustainable business, you want your business to be boring. you may be wondering why do you want your business to be boring, right? Because if you want consistent results, you need to be having systems that produces consistently, right? And then if it's repetitive, then it's boring, right? But it produces a consistent stream of income. It's predictable, right? And this is the trap that a lot of entrepreneurs get into, right? Because with that entrepreneurial spirit and with that startup mentality, it's all about, yes, I want to go in there, I want to create, this is exciting, this is a challenge that I want to go out there and deal with, right? But the problem is that there's a time and place for all of these different mentalities. Yes, to begin, that's great, but to stabilize, to establish the foundations of your business, right? You need to have that mentality of, okay, how is it that I can create predictable outcomes, predictable results, right? Rather than keep chasing on the next challenge, on the next challenge, and neglecting the challenges that you already solved, right? But because of that neglect, it eventually becomes problems later on. And then you find yourself going back into the cycle of fighting fires and needing to patch up holes, and you'll be wondering, didn't I already deal with this? Why am I dealing with this all over again? Right? So it's all part of that process. Right? So Keith Cunningham, rich dad. Buckminster Fuller, poor dad. But he had a systems-based thinking, right? He looks at the world in the form of an ecosystem where we are not living in a vacuum, right? Where every single thing, every single person, every single action, right, has a reaction. And his idea and mentality is all about sustainability, but he did not really care about the wealth side of things, right? So that's on Buckminster Fuller, but he is an absolute genius, and if you have the opportunity, definitely look into him. If you watch like the Marvel universes or even like X-Men, whenever you hear the term geodesic dome, right, which was the dome that Buckminster Fuller was had behind him. Basically, that dome was designed by him to be able to weather uh, the toughest storms, tornadoes, earthquakes, right? Where this dome is able to spread the force throughout the entire structure without collapsing. Yeah. So look into Buckminster Fuller. Very very interesting character. Yes. Okay. Let me just type it out in the chat. Thanks for the question. We've got Keith Cunningham. I'll spell it out for you. Everyone. And yes, Riz. That's correct. Yep. Our Buckminster Fuller. Thank you. Okay, so going back, we see Narciso is also talking about building a group where you are a beginner on e-commerce and online marketing. Okay, so we'll also touch upon how is it that you can build communities and how is it that you can leverage off communities as well. I will relate to each of these. All right, and yeah, so Keith J. Cunningham. Yep, that's correct. Okay. So going back to the slides, the systems that I will be sharing with you, okay, has helped me and the organizations that I worked with through this pandemic, through this economic crisis, right? 2.57x their revenue, right? Reach record-breaking sales in their entire 12 years of business during a pandemic. But not only that, how is it that you can maintain and boost the morale and confidence of the team, as I did with Pragna right here, right? Who is actually from India, right? And then she was based in Malaysia for some time, right? So I helped build her up as a marketer and together with the team to be able to hit the targets that were necessary to be able to drive the leads and to drive the revenue, so that not only did we survive through the pandemic, but we also thrived as well, right? How many of you would love to thrive during the most challenging of times? Yeah, that's right. And this is what we're all about. I want you to be able to have that mindset, to have that mentality, to have the tools that you need to be able to go into the most challenging environments and come out at the top as a winner, right? To reach the peak, to reach the summit of where you can be. Right? And I believe that as long as you're here with us today, as long as you're hearing these words, being present with us here today, you have that potential. But it is entirely up to you on whether you reach and realize that potential within yourself, within your lifetime. It's so easy for us to take for granted the precious life that we have been given, right? The potential that we could live out. And I believe that we all have to honor that. And when we honor our potential, when we honor our gifts, imagine bring out all of the gifts and beauty into this world. The lives that we change, the inventions that we create, the art that we will paint and bring into this world. Imagine the colors that will be filled in this world. How beautiful life would be if only every single one of us honored our gifts and actually bring it out into the world, rather than bringing it to what they call the richest place in the world, which is the grave. Right? All of the unrealized potentials, all of the gifts in the grave. Your time is now, right? And you are in the right space to realize that. So just to share with you a bit about my journey. Okay. So this was about 11 years ago. I was in Beijing, right? I was fresh out of public speaker training, and then together with my partner back then, we thought like, okay, you know, we are going to crush the personal development industry. We're going to create our own programs, you know, because we've also gone through training programs to do like fire walking, glass walking, board breaking, all of that. We thought, okay, we have all of the tools and knowledge, you know, let's go out there and conquer it, right? Then so this was me back in Beijing, right? Where I was speaking to an international expatriate community, right? This was our one of our first events over there. But if you're able to feel the energy of the room, then you will realize that something is off, right? As you can see, there's this guy in white with his head tilted like that. It's like, oh, you know, what's going on? Why am I here? Right. So this was a time where it was so early on in our journey. I walked into the room, you know, I had my event planned out, I had my content planned out word for word, and you know, I just went out there excited, but by the time I stood up on stage, I just froze. You know the feeling of deers being caught by a headlight. You'll be like, poof, oh my god, right? And then my mind automatically went into survival mode, right? So it went into a monotonous repeating of what I practiced and prepared. Right? So the story that I was sharing out there to this audience was totally dead and monotone. And I literally saw the life of the audience, the energy of the audience die right in front of me. And then my partner was standing all the way in the background, and he was like, oh my god, what is going on? Right. That sense of disappointment, that sense of, oh my god, what am I doing, right? And that sense of judgment, right, with this community looking at me, and then I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, what do I do, right? But I soldiered on, and by the end of the session, half of the room left, right? But then my partner came on, and then he managed to retain the rest of the room, right? But not only that, right? Through that journey, my business partner was financing the entire venture out in Beijing. We started in UK and then we went out to Beijing, China, right? But then halfway through, he was saying he caught himself in the financial snag, right? So he had, well, what he shared back then, he had a couple millions of pounds where he went all in a copper deal, right? So he invested millions of pounds to just broker this deal. I buy the copper, I send it over, then I make the difference, right? But what happens is that I believe it was like 10 million pounds. He went all in, and then when the copper actually reached the port in China, the port authorities, or rather the buyer, when he was checking the copper and said, this is not the copper grade that we agreed upon or ordered, right? So what happened was that the ship was stuck at port. There were port charges, right? Ranging in the thousands of pounds every day, right? And then so he had those debt collectors knocking on his doors, wanting to repossess his car, wanting to shut his business down. And then he just called me one day when I was in Beijing, right, saying like, bro, I don't think we can continue on with this anymore, right? But we said, let's just give it one more month, right, to see what we can do, right? I said, I'll go out there and find an investor to make this work. All right. He said, okay, bro, go do that, right? So as a result of doing that, right, I was actually living on like 50 yuan a week. What does that translate to? 50 yuan a week in Beijing is equivalent to like a bowl of noodles, instant noodles a day, right? So I lost a ton of weight, right? So I'm really really skinny, as you can see over there, right? But I was fortunate that during that time I had my girlfriend as well, right? To support me. During that time, I lost so much weight that I realized that when your physical health goes, your mental health will soon follow, right? Because what happened was that through that journey, I was actually able to find a potential investor, right? But then there there was something that just tipped me off because I wasn't physically there, right? I just said, I can't continue this, right? So I just made a decision. I've got to go back to Malaysia, right? And but it's true that time where fortunately I have my girlfriend, girlfriend of 10 years right now, right, to support me through those times, right? She actually flew into Beijing, took care of me, make sure that I was fed. It's like, Ching, you come, let's go to the a corner shop right over there. Made sure I was fed, and then I remember when I came back to Malaysia, Penang, Malaysia, actually, reaching the airport, and then when the doors opened, my mom was there, right, ready to pick me up. And then she looked at me with shock. It's like, oh my god, son, you lost so much weight. Come. And then she just helped me and said, let's go and eat. Right? And for those of you who are familiar with Malaysia, Penang is known as the Pearl of the Orient and known as the top destinations for food. So of course we had to go on a feast, right? So my mom took me all around to have the good hawker food. We feasted, and it's at times like this where you realize that how fortunate you are in your life. For me, it was to have my mom who loved and supported me, throughout those times, right? Uh, she understood the path that I chose, the risk that I took, and she took me under wing. She took care of me, and then my girlfriend and my soulmate to support me through mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well, without judgment, right? No questions asked at all, just pure love and support. Ah, and that's absolutely beautiful, right? And then so with that, couple years down the road, um, that's where I started picking myself back up. I went out. I did jobs like selling perfume in road shows. I used to sell for Dior, J'adore, right? Yeah, I used to sell J'adore perfumes, right? And then, but eventually, I started picking myself back up. My business partner back then also came back in the picture and say, "Hey, I've got this speaking industry thing done. I know exactly what to do, how to close, and then let's go out there and rock it, right?" So what happened then? It was about 1.5 years or 2 years down the road, right? This was our first event together with Summit, right? Where we were able to bring together, I believe this was 300 or 400 over people into the room, where we had our first event, right? Then that brought me to Vietnam, right, where we spoke to hundreds of thousands of people, right? Where I had the opportunity to travel all around the world, you know, being able to reach an international community of high spirit and really fun people. One of them was Bella, as you can see. She's right up front. For those of you who joined us earlier, you probably saw a testimonial video, right? To be able to share this knowledge, right? When it comes to personal development, public speaking, business, to the world, right? And then, of course, the cherry on the top for us was being able to make this event a success in Vietnam together with my partners in Summit, right? Where we were able to fill up this stadium with 7,000 people in Vietnam, to be able to overcome all the obstacles and challenges, and to have my partner be up there, stand up on stage, and to amplify and to make a difference, right? So the reason why I share this story with you, okay, is to share with you that you don't have to be a Superman, a Superwoman, or super person, whatever it is, right? Life does not go on a linear and straight path. You will face challenges, you will face obstacles, and sometimes you feel like giving up. But know that if you are at that stage in your life, right, where you feel that you've hit rock bottom, there's always hope. And it also starts with just recognizing and counting our blessings. And at the very least, I believe that as long as we're breathing and living for another day, that's a blessing in itself. That means that's an opportunity for us to live our life, to realize our potential. But it takes that one single step, right? The step of being grateful for what we have, right? For taking into account, okay, what am I grateful for in my life right now, right? That I can honor. Because if you want to create a great life, if you want to create a great community, if you want to create a great business, if you want to transform the lives of others, you need to build upon a solid foundation, right? Before you can go out there and make that difference. And the strength in that foundation starts off with being grateful for what you already have, rather than looking at the holes in your foundation. And then if you focus on the holes, that's all you get, and you're missing the whole donut, right? So yes, thanks. So just looking at chat, Riz saying, I look like quite the yuppie 11 years ago. Times have changed a lot since then. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Yep. Yes, that felt like a train wreck in slow motion, unfolding. When you're in that moment, you'll be like, oh, what's going on? But you've got that mentality of saying, I need to keep going forward, but everything is falling apart around you, right? But you just keep going, right? And Riz saying, wish I had a girl like that. Don't worry, Riz. I have a feeling that if you really stepped into your power and in your potential, you will be able to find a girl like that, right? Because you attract. I believe that if you want to attract the partner or the soulmate of your dreams, you have to be a whole individual as well, right? You have to be complete. You have to step into your own personal power, right? And then that creates that magnetism to be able to attract that partner into your life. Because if you are not whole, there may be parts of you that is actually repelling that potential partner. Or maybe there's a part of you that's not whole, that's not allowing you to be in the spaces where your potential partner may exist, right? So Jivanjot, also wishing for a lady partner like that. Yep. Step into your power. Step into your power. Well, maybe one day I'll do a relationship program as well, right? Yes, that's truly wonderful. Yes, beautiful hero with a lot of talents. Riz saying, actually, I remember a time when I ended up as thin as you. It was when I was a kid, but it wasn't a very pleasant time. In a nutshell, I got bullied at a boarding school. Water under the bridge nowadays. Yep. We all have our own journeys, and then the question is, with all of these stories that we have lived through, right? The question is, are we framing it where we are the heroes in our own stories, where we take ownership of it, or do we frame ourselves as a victim? As a victim of circumstances, of how people treated me, the environment that I was in, the situation that I was in. I remember that when I went through the toughest, one of the toughest times back then, was that no matter what happened, I didn't blame. Right, I took full ownership of the situation that I was in, because I said, I chose this path. I chose to venture to Beijing, to start this entrepreneurial journey, to start this program, and that whatever results that I see, that I create, is all up to me. Right, I play that essential part, and that's the mindset of a transformational leader that you need to have. If you want to mold and shape the world around you, you need to take 100% responsibility in your life. 100%. Right? Now, am I saying that, are there times where there are policy changes with the government, people could even go to the extent of locking you up or whatsoever. Yes, there will be times like this, extreme circumstances like this, right? But as a transformational leader, it is your duty to figure out, given this situation, how am I going to navigate towards my destination, right? Can you imagine if you were to hop onto a plane and then the pilot is going through turbulence, right? Going through the storms, and then the pilot goes onto the intercom and says, "Guys, I don't know where this storm came out. It's like, oh my god! If you just look to your right, look at all of that lightning. There's nothing I can do. It's like, I'm sorry. If we can't reach our destination, this may be the last time that I speak to you, right? You're going to panic, right? Yeah. But as a pilot, as a leader, you have to drive that vehicle through the storm and out of the storm, right? Because your crew, because your clients, the people that you serve all rely on you, and you take 100% responsibility to find your way out of that, right? And I promise you, right, when you commit to that sort of mentality, you will unlock a power that you will be amazed, how powerful you are, where you actually stay focused on your destination, right? Let's say, okay, no matter what, I am going to hit that goal. I'm going to reach that destination. I'm going to make sure that my crew, my all of these people in my plane will reach there safely. Right? And then by the end of it, you actually find a way, your brain, okay, your mind will be able to start connecting the dots and to create a pathway for you to achieve and reach that destination. Then by the end of it, people will be like, oh my God, how did you make this happen? Right? One of the stories, such stories is like of Sully, right? For in one of the airlines in America, right, where they face troubles up in the air with his plane, but then eventually he was able to navigate the plane safely onto the Hudson River, right? It took a lot of focus, it took a lot of courage, it took a lot of belief. And I want you to start believing in yourself. Okay? Believing in your own personal power and ability. You can do it. You can truly, truly do it. Right? And it's all with that never give up mentality, with that focus. Right? So the questions that we had just now, one of the biggest challenges was what do I focus on? Right? So this is where we go into the first part of what's essential for transformational leadership, right? Where by tapping into this, I was able to help Aaron Tan, all right, transform himself from an introvert to a university program leader. Let's listen in to what he has to say.
What's up, guys? Aaron Tan here, and I am a lecturer at the University of Greenwich. And check this out. Check this out. Every week, I get to teach and speak in front of hundreds of students in lecture halls, just like this, every week for a living. And I didn't actually. I wasn't born into speaking. In fact, I was really, really shy when I was a kid. Oftentimes, I was such an introvert. You would often notice the chair I was sitting on before you'd notice me. And then when I decided to try and do something and overcome this fear, I obviously, looked into developing my public speaking skills. And that's where I met Ching Tan, who really, really helped me develop my confidence, develop the skills, and actually just share and mentor me into to really just being the best speaker that I can be and offering as much value as I can as possible. And the thing is, I only started teaching 4 years ago, or just over 4 years ago, and I'm a program leader in entrepreneurship, so I get to teach, I get to design, I get to influence what students are learning at university today. And again, I speak in rooms like this, which are full every single week. I teach roughly 500 students a week. And I really wouldn't be able to do that without the support of Ching and, just his, well, I'd say support, sharing his experiences, sharing the techniques, and helping me, just fine tune things so that I can deliver as much impact as possible. Last year, I was nominated by students for various teaching awards in 4 different categories, unheard of in 1 year. I won the Faculty Educator Award. So that means my peers saw me as one of the strongest educators in the department, not even just the department, it's the entire business school. And it's no hyperbole. Without the support and guidance of Ching, I generally wouldn't be able to do that and become program leader within 4 years of teaching. So thank you, Ching. And guys, if you really want to create an impact on a similar level, quickly, efficiently, Ching is your man. And yeah, highly recommend working with him. Cheers.